In today's video, I have some Christmas crafts that are so easy and so fun to do, and they turned out so pretty. I can't wait for you to see what they look like, so stay tuned. Hey my friends, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Melissa. In today's video, it is a Christmas collaboration where everything is Christmas. This collaboration is hosted by Lady Red Crafting, Our Gray House, as well as the guest host this month is Jody at Southern Seasons. I'm gonna have a link to their channels listed in the description box, as well as a link to the playlist. In this playlist, you're gonna get tons of Christmas motivation. And in my video, I have for you 3 Christmas crafts that are super easy, they're fun, they are so beautiful. I can't wait for you to see how they turn out. And if you're new to my channel and you love thrifting, you love crafting, thrift makeovers, then I would love it if you would consider being a part of my YouTube family. Click that subscribe button and click the bell button. But for now, let's go ahead and get into those Christmas crafts. For this project, I'm going to use this piece that I thrifted from Goodwill, and it is new because it still has the tag on it. It was $3 at Target, and I thrifted it for $1 at Goodwill. So what I'm going to do is, this was supposed to be the front of whatever, you know, they were selling it to be used as. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this side as the front, because I have a calendar that I got from Dollar Tree and I've had it for a while and I've just never used it. So I'm gonna use this page and I'm gonna decoupage it to this side. Then I'm going to stain or use an antique wax on this side. That way it looks like a completely cohesive and finished project. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this off, this string off, so that I can go ahead and put the Mod Podge down and decoupage this on top. I'm going ahead and putting a coat of Mod Podge on this side, and there are a couple ways you can do it. And at first I thought I was going to let the Mod Podge dry and then put the paper on there, but I decided just to go ahead and put it down and get it set, and then once it dried, I went over it with a little finger sander and buffed out or sanded off the edges. And then once that was done, I put a coat of Mod Podge on the top, but I also sanded around the top edges because I wanted to make sure I got kind of some of that paper worn away around the edges. Now I'm just taking the Waverly Antique Wax and I'm putting it on the back, and then I'm wiping away the excess and putting it on the sides and wiping away the excess of that as well. And you can see how it looked like it's a stained project, like I used a stain. Then I'm taking that same antique wax, going around the front edges and kind of putting it, you know, on the top just a little bit, just to make it look worn. Then I'm adding some twine to the top, and this project will be done. This is something that's super simple and very inexpensive, but yet it looks very high end, and I just think it looks so pretty. I can't wait to hear what you think. This next project is making over this frame that I got from someone in the neighborhood that gave they set out a bunch of stuff on their front porch and said, come and get it. So I did. I want to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. So I'm going to use this mold that I got from Amazon. And I'm going to use this little one that looks like little pearls. But before I do, I sprayed the frame with shellac. I wanted to make sure that I give the paint something to grab onto. And while that's drying, I just take some baking soda or cornstarch, and I put it in the mold that I'm going to use. And I'm using an air dry clay to put it in the mold. And then you just roll the mold back and the little clay just falls out. Once I pull it out of the clay mold, I put some wood glue on the back, and once I have the wood glue coated really good, I want to make sure I get all the parts, that are going to be attached to the frame covered with the wood glue. I just put it, and now I was going to put it around the very edge, but it's a little too wide, so I decided to go right inside the edge of the frame, and that's where these little pearl molds are gonna go, which I actually think I like the way this is gonna turn out better. It just kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. So once I place it where I want it, I just take a little shop towel and wipe back any glue that has gotten on the frame. And then I'm just gonna continue to do the same thing, get 3 more pieces of the mold and attach it to the frame, and then I'm gonna let that dry completely. You wanna try to let it dry overnight if possible. Now that the clay has dried onto the frame, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a coat of paint, possibly 2, with this Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. Now I've found when I paint frames, it works best for me that I paint it on just with smooth strokes, but then I go back over it before it dries, and I just kind of use my brush to take away those brush marks. And I feel like it not only gives it better coverage, but it helps the paint to stick on better. But I did end up giving this 2 coats just to make sure all that clay got coated really well. Then I'm gonna go over it with a clear wax. This clear wax is gonna help keep when I use the white wax, it's gonna keep it from discoloring the frame too much. So once I have the white wax on there, I use very little, and I mainly only use it over the parts where I want it. And then I go back over it with a shop towel and wipe away the excess. Now for inside the frame, I'm going to use this paper right here, and I'm going to put a transfer on it. This transfer comes from the Redesign with Prima pack, and I will leave a link to it in the description box. But putting it on the paper is super simple. I think it's easiest to go on paper because it transfers down so well. You just rub over it with that stick, and once you've rubbed over it, you just start peeling back that plastic. And if you see that it hasn't transferred completely, just lay that plastic back down and go back over it some more, rub over it some more with a stick. Once you've transferred it all onto your project, you take that plastic and you go over it to burnish it in. Then you just put everything back together, and this project is complete. It's so simple, and I think this turned out so pretty. I love this so much. I actually think I really want to keep it for myself, but I am going to put it in my booth. I'm going to be good and not keep it. I'm going to put it in my booth, but I just think it turned out so pretty. You'll have to tell me what you think. Is going to be making some ornaments, or making an ornament, but I'm going to give you an idea. But I got these wood ornaments from Dollar Tree. I actually think I might have gotten them last year. I don't even know if they carry them this year, but they come with the string and the hole already drilled in. So I'm just gonna take one of them. I like the look of this one. And I am going to paint it and put a transfer on it and make it into a pretty little ornament. I'm gonna use to paint the center part, I'm gonna use the Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. All right, I have them painted. I went ahead and just did all three, but to give it more of a sort of worn look, I'm just gonna take my little finger sander and just kind of go over the edges just a little bit, just to kind of give it, you know, like that worn, less just painted look. So let me get this done and then we'll move on. For the transfers that I'm going to use for these ornaments, I am going with the IOD Iron Orchid Design transfer kit called Christmas Valley. I'm not exactly sure when this one came out because I just kind of started crafting and I bought this last year. So anyway, there are some really pretty birds in here. So I am just going to get those birds. Let me find one of them. Like here's one of them right here that I'm gonna use. Maybe this one, and actually this cardinal right here. So I'm gonna get these cut out and then I'm gonna start transferring. Again, with the transfers, you just take off that white backing and lay the transfer onto your project. Use the stick to transfer it on, to rub that transfer onto your project. And when you're done, you take the plastic, you rub it over the transfer, and you burnish it into place. And it's that simple. When you use a transfer, you always want to make sure you seal it in. So to seal these ornaments, to seal these transfers onto the ornament, I'm going to use the Waverly varnish in matte. And once I do that, I'm only gonna do the front right now because I'm gonna go over the back, I think, with a dark wax, and I'm also gonna put kind of the dark wax around it, but I wanna get it sealed first because I don't really wanna change the color. So you just put the varnish on it like this, and it'll dry matte. And then once that's dry, then I'll go over it with the dark wax around the edges and on the back. And this doesn't actually take really long to dry at all. So. And there we go. I'm gonna let it dry. All right, now that is dry, so I'm gonna turn them over. And to stain these, like I said, I'm using the Waverly Antique Wax. Now to finish these off, I have the string already strung through here, and I have some beads. These I got from Dollar Tree, and then I have some that I've thrifted. So I'm gonna use these to put at the bottom of the string. I'm gonna tie it, and then this project will be done. To string that twine through the beads, I did use a little piece of Scotch tape at the end of the two pieces of the two ends and strung them through, and then just pulled that tape off. This is how they turned out. I think they just turned out so pretty. It's something so simple, but yet just so pretty and so cozy and so Christmassy. Before I give you one final look at all the projects and before I close the video out, I do want to share a Bible verse with you. And this one comes from Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22 and 23. And it says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." I don't know about you, but I am very thankful that He has new mercies for us every morning. I would also like to once again thank Lady Red Crafting, Our Gray House, and Jody at Southern Seasons for hosting this amazing collaboration. I hope you've gotten some great Christmas crafting ideas. And if you want more, make sure you check out the playlist that is going to be linked in my description box, because I know that you are not going to want to miss any of it. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. Click that subscribe button and click the bell button so you don't miss any of my videos, because I love doing crafting and thrifting content. And if you want to see some more Christmas crafting ideas, then make sure you check out the box you see on the screen right now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.